Last weekend, days after Asiana Airlines' fatal crash in San Francisco, TV station KTVU released what it thought were the names of the Korean pilots. Turns out the names were bogus. So were they victim to a hoax or shoddy reporting?
Back to our coverage.
During last Friday's noon broadcast on Fox-affiliated station KTVU, anchor Tori Campbell said the station had confirmed the names of the 4 pilots aboard the plane, then proceeded to read their names.
Captain Sum Ting Wong, Wee Tu Lo.
You get the point. Instantly, a producer realized the mistake, tweeting out this. And to the station's credit, it offered up several sincere and heartfelt apologies.
We want to take a moment and say that we are sorry. Earlier today, during our noon newscast, we misidentified the pilots in the Asiana Airlines crash.
Apparently, the fictitious names were confirmed for the station by an intern at the NTSB. Initially, Asiana Airlines threatened to sue the station for damaging the company's image, a questionable PR move.
The goal is always to get it off of the press, out of the front pages, to get people to stop talking about it. But instead, you've perpetuated the story.
Yep, they did. And yesterday, the airline dropped the lawsuit threat. Still, the question remains, was the station to blame or were they duped?
Wee Tu Lo.
It's hard to believe anyone could read those names out loud without hearing the jokes.
It speaks to the way Asian Americans are depicted in American pop culture.
It does, which is why KTVU should have known better.
Yeah, there's one big mystery in all of this, and that is, where did the names come from originally? Because they claim they called the NTSB, an intern answered, they read them the names, and the kid confirmed them. But where did they get them in the first place? They didn't come over some, AP wire or something. I have to say, I said on radio today, and I have been practical joked. I mean, the governor has gotten me a couple times on things. This would not have happened to me. I would have read those. Maybe it's because I'm used to my nephews sending me notes signed Hugh Jass or something like that. It's like you look at it and you think, no.
Your nephew prepared you well.
My nephew prepared me well.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I start with the fact that KTVU was winning a lot of praise for the way they were covering this story. They were all over it. Given that, how could they not have known that the AP had reported the actual names of the 2 pilots 2 days earlier? It doesn't make any sense. I do think that they were the victims of a prank, but it's their fault for, not reading the names and understanding the joke. I don't understand this on any level. I'll just say good for them for the way they've reacted since this was exposed, but...
Yeah, I don't know if this is in the bucket of real, genuine news organizations that fall victim to satirical stories. Like, I was trying to figure out how this happened, too, and I looked to see if The Onion had written a story, because that's the kind of thing that would happen. They didn't. But you remember how the Iranian news organization reported an Onion story that Mahmoud Ahmadinejad was more popular in rural white America than Obama? They thought it was true. They read the satirical story and thought it was true and printed it as fact. I thought that this was going to turn out to be the case. You call a lazy intern who confirms the name that you found in a satirical story. But I have no idea where they came up with those names, and I couldn't...
They haven't said.
I couldn't figure out. They should say, because we should know.
Well, there's a few points to be made. First of all, they didn't know it was an intern when they called. They didn't ask, who are you? So in their apology, they have said that is the first big mistake, not confirming who it was, who could, in an authoritative way, say these are the names. Second, they fell victim to a kind of an assumption about what a Korean pilot's name would sound like. So they went with that. I mean, I really have to say there's a lot of that going on. Third, the week before, they just fired the highest ranking Asian American in the newsroom. Who's in the room when these things are being discussed? That's what I say all the time. Well, she wasn't there. So there you go. I mean, I just have to say that this comes full circle all the time. I also have, the last thing I'll say is that everybody's trying to scoop. Even though they were doing a great job, they were out ahead, there's no big scoop. There's no Anderson Cooper, I got juror number 37, which was a scoop. So they're trying to get a scoop. We got those names. Let's get right on the noon newscast. And there you go.
That's a great point about having fired the Asian employee, but that's still no excuse.
No, there isn't.
I mean, they're serving a community with one of the largest Asian American communities in the country. You would think maybe there'd be a little heightened sensitivity there. I wonder about the speed with which they were moving. how much time elapsed between the time they got the tip and the time they went on the air with it. That speed kills in the news business, and unfortunately, there's more and more emphasis on speed. Look, anybody can be duped. Even a great news organization like the Boston Globe covered with a straight face Chuck Turner's infamous press conference with the pornographic pictures that were fake. So it can happen, and it does happen. I hope viewers take from this that in spite of how glamorous journalism may look, it's really a grinding, often monotonous process of checking, double-checking, triple-checking, verifying, and sometimes even holding back on something because you're not sure about it. And, you know, that's where the rubber meets the road, and that's where they flop.
Nobody read those names out loud.
Looks
that's
like
what I
it.
can't get past that.
And nobody asked, who are you, to confirm these names.
And she didn't break out laughing as she was reading them. That's what shocked me.